once again.
So what's up guys, All Retro's Fun here, and I'm here with this budget cell deck. And the cool thing about this cell deck is, besides it being a deck that you could build for about 15 bucks, a little under 20, it's also set up where you could use either leaders without having to swap out any of your battle cards. But today we're going to focus on Cell. Android 17, we'll talk about you a little later. But we're going to focus on the Cell. So this is Cell, and as you know, with this card, place one card from your hand under this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less, and KO it. So that's a good ability right there. And then when he awakens, he does the normal, draw 2 cards, standard for most of them. And when he's awakened, let it focus, I'm trying to get that light, place one card from your hand under this card, and you get to draw 2 cards. And then when you have 2 cards placed under this card, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. The reason why I really like that ability, because it ain't like you can only pop a 3 or 2 drop. This one lets you KO anything, so definitely good. This deck is all about destroying someone's hand, you already know. But this is going to be a competitive, less than $20 cell deck, so let's get started. I'm going to start off with the 1 drops all the way to the top, so we're going to do 1 through 7. First, you want your Cell Birth. Cell Birth, he reduces the cost of your cell cards by 2. The only thing with this one is, once you use that ability, you will have to discard them. But overall, not a bad ability, not too bad. Alright, now I got the focus a little better. Try to get this set up for you guys. Alright, so if your leader card is a Cell, reduce the energy cost of the Cell in your hand by 2. And when you play this Cell, you're going to have to take them out and put another one. So that's the reason why I at least run 2 of them. So we run 2 of those. Our next one drop, Create Android. I run 2 of those. So I run 2 of those Create Androids because he lets you draw 2 cards, but you do have to drop one. But he definitely helps with building your hand up. So that makes it so much better. So we play 2 of him. Just trying to get this camera set, guys. You know this is my first tutorial video, so we'll make it where they only get better. They only get better, guys. They're only going to get better. Our next grade 1 that we're going to use is Speedy Surprise Attack. And with Speedy Surprise Attack, he's going to be your negate. The cool thing about him is when he negates, place 1 card in your drop area, and you can pop a card with an energy cost of 3 or less. So he lets you pop a 3 drop or less that's currently on the field. So already, just with these 1 drops, you see we're going to definitely be killing off the opponent's field. So definitely a good deck for less than 20 bucks. Next up is our Terrible Creator Android 20. And we're definitely running 3 of him only. His ability, he lets you search out your Android. You can search out any card with the key name Android except for Terrible Creator 20. So you just can't pull another one of this same card. But you're going to definitely want to pull your Androids. And our next 2 drop, I only play 1 of this card and I'll explain why. But this is Destined D Krillin. He's a blocker, but the good thing about him is if you have an Android 18 on the field, you get to play him for free. So he's a free blocker. You could play 3, 4, it's up to you, but I'm going to show you when we get into the 3 drops the reason why I only play 1. And our super combo, and like I said, this is a budget deck, so some things may not be the full play set, and it's still going to be competitive. So there's our super combo. We play 2 of him. Android 16. Super combo, if your leader card is green in Android and you have a life of 4 or less, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop zone. So that's a good ability, and you gain 10,000 combo power. So that's not bad right there. Next, we're in our 3 drops. I play only 1 of this one. pretty much lets you play tokens, that's all. Nothing spectacular. When you play this card, if your leader is Cell, play 2 Cell Junior tokens. So as you guys see, if you were to play this deck with Android, a lot of these beginner cards you'd want to use as energies. You can still play them. But let's get into what makes this deck good and why this is an awesome Cell deck. Next, we play 4 copies of Grown Evil Lifeform Cell. So as you guys see, he's our first card for Union Absorb. Place 1 Android 17 under this card, and you get to play a 5 or less Android on top. Cell, I mean. Which means you get to play him for 3. Or, when you have your Cell Rebirth, you get to pretty much for 1 energy, play him right there. But that ain't the only good part. Now we're kind of jumping ahead, so we're not at the 5s yet. But we definitely want to play 4 copies of him. Our next level 3, and this is the blocker I was telling you about. Iron Hammer, Head of Justice. Now this is just a broken card to me. Let me tell you why. He's a blocker. Read his second ability. He has Revenge. But look at his auto. When this card KOs your opponent's battle card, switch this card to active mode. So he's just going to block after block after block with Revenge. I mean, you're going to have to pop him off the field. You're going to have to play some type of skill card to get this guy off the field, or he's just going to take your whole lineup out. So you're going to be kind of forced to not even attack if you don't want to lose your battle cards. So definitely good card. Our next 3 drop that we're going to play is Dreadful Duo Android 18. And this card is pretty cool also. So pretty much during your turn, if you pop the battle card with an energy cost of 4 or more, place a card in the drop area, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, 3 or less, and KO it. So we got more KOs, and we play 3 of those. Next, we play 3 copies of Dreadful Duo Android. He has Critical, which is a good ability. And also, during that turn, if your opponent's battle card energy cost of 3 or less has been placed in the drop area. So that means if one of your skills knocked out a 3 or less, you could pretty much choose 1 Android 18 with an energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. So you could still use his ability to get this one out and then use her ability. So they definitely work pretty good together, which is why this deck works with the Cell and also when you're playing your Android 18. Another 3 drop you could get out with that ability is Twin Sister Android 18. When this card attacks, you may pay the energy cost, and when you do, you may go and bring an Android 17 in the battle area, switch it to active mode. So if you play her, you could restand him. Or we got the other 3 drop, which we play 2 of. Use that skill, first attack with him, then when you attack with her, use her skill to restand him. And his skill is when this card attacks, you may place 1 card from your hand in the drop area. If you do so, choose up to 1 Android 18 in your battle area and switch it to active mode. So definitely good how these 2 work together. One attacks and you stand the other one. You just got to make sure you have both of them out on the field. The next card that we want to play in our 3 drops is Martial Expert Titan Shan, however you say his name. But anyways, this card is good because at the end of battle, after you combo with this card, if your leader card is green, you play this card. So you combo with him, but then he goes onto the field. He wouldn't go to your drop zone. And then he's good for Self-Awakening. Choose 1 card in your life and place it in the drop area. Choose 1 card in your life and add it to your hand. Then choose up to 1 opponent's battle card and KO that card. So definitely a good card, and I play 3 of him in the deck. So like I said, all these are really cheap cards that you can get for 5 cents, 10 cents, and you could definitely build this competitive deck for less than 20 bucks. Next up, we play 4 of these 4 drops. Cell Absorption. He's just there. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them in the drop area. So this is just to keep getting cards out of your opponent's hand. Next up, You got your 5-drop androids. You got Android 18 at the 5-drop level. Her skill is, now she has double strike, and when this card attacks a leader, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places in the drop area. So more field popping and hand dropping from the cards. And then we play 3 copies of this. Android 17 Expanded Energy. He's also a double strike. Also, when this card attacks, draw cards until you have 4 cards in your hand. So if you've been comboing, you've been discarding, or whatever abilities you've been using, the cool thing about this card is, if I have less than 4 cards, I automatically get to draw 3 more cards to at least have a minimum of 4 cards in my hand. Now, towards the end, the next card we have is 3 copies of Evolving Energy Evil Life Form Cell. Definitely awesome card. So the stack's getting a little higher, so we're a little bit closer to the camera now. But place 1 Android 18 underneath this card to Union Absorb. When you do this, he gets to pop 1 card on your opponent's battlefield. Also, this card has double strike, so this is definitely a good card. Then, to Union Absorb again, when you place that 18 under there, I have 2 copies. Now, this is going to be the most expensive card in the deck. 2 of those is about $7 to $10 each. Just this card, these 2, put me at like 13, 14 bucks. Everything else was like $2 worth of cards, so this is the most expensive card. I would recommend playing 3, but I'm only playing 2. He does what he gotta do, and as you see, you would want to use your, you wouldn't want to evolve him. You want to play him by actually just using Union Absorb. And the cool thing about this card, you have to discard all cards in your hand until you have 3 left. Your opponent. So when you get this card on the field, your opponent has to discard all his cards. So any deck you're going against, where they're saving a lot of cards to combo with and do attacks with, they're going to lose all them cards, as they have to choose what 3 cards they want to keep. So this is definitely a big game changer. So anyways, guys, this is our cell deck, our 50 card budget deck for 20 bucks. If you want to modify it, like I said, try it the same deck using your Android as the leader to revolve more around your Android cards. Play your perfect cell to evolve more around cell and Union Absorbing. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.